Mission briefing. Operation Shattered Glass. Mission type Raid. Threat level high. Location Secondary Industrial Logistics Spaceport. Planet Atreus. Free Worlds League deployment. Time 700 hours. Morning. Weather moderate rain. Drop tonnage 400 tons limit. Intel suggests possible turrets emplacements. Light activities expected with possibility of reinforcements. Mission objectives. Primary, destroy at least 2 marked objectives. Secondary, destroy hostile command unit. Employer, information encrypted. Hostile unit from the Iron Phalanx, Free World Leagues, House Merrick. Within Merrick's space, the Iron Phalanx is a defense regiment specialized in static defense and layered firepower. Within the Free Worlds League, the Iron Phalanx is regarded as a reliable and disciplined force. Victory points will be allocated for objectives destroyed/defended. For each enemy unit's kills, VP will be awarded. Bonus VP will be allocated for the destruction of the force's commander unit, as well as 3 or more objectives destroyed/defended. A maximum of 20 VPs can be earned by each force by end of turn 11. To achieve total victory, the player must complete primary objective and have at least 50% more VP than the opposing force. Bloodcrow's deployment Bay 1, Commander Raven. Warhammer Heavy Mech. Bay 2, Mech Warrior Cold Iron. Hunchback Medium Mech. Bay 3, Mech Warrior Hammer. Griffin Medium Mech. Bay 4, Mech Warrior Bullet. Wolverine Medium Mech. Iron Phalanx deployment Bay 1, Phoenix Hawk Medium Mech. Bay 2, Spider Light Mech. The logistics spaceport is expected to be lightly defended with light turrets emplacements. 5 critical installations are marked as key objectives, consisting of Alpha, the control tower; Bravo, the command bunker; Charlie, the ammo dump; Delta, the power generator; Echo, the fuel depot. Mission scenario house rules. Reinforcements will be triggered when the second marked objective is destroyed, or by start of turn 4. The power generator feeds power to the defensive turrets. Destroying the generator will render the turrets offline. Environment effects of rain generates no additional modifiers. Turn 1, Initiative Op4. The spaceport perimeter alarm blared as the Bloodcrows entered the lightly defended spaceport from the western edge, with the Hunchback running next to the large fuel storage tanks. Objective Echo. Marking target Echo, keeping clear of fuel tank blast radius. Cold Iron reported as he aimed the Hunchback AC-20 towards the objective. Raven pushed the Warhammer towards the power generator, lining the PPC sights at the objective. Hammer, on me! Target objective Delta and bring those turrets offline, ordered Raven. The Phoenix Hawk raced towards the Bloodcrows and took cover behind the autocannon turret. Hostile mechs detected. Activated security protocol, reported the Phoenix Hawk. Bullet ran the Wolverine in front of the Hunchback, also targeting objective Echo. Hammer also ran the Griffin in front of the Warhammer, following Raven's order by going towards the power generator. With the Bloodcrows formed up, the remaining defender, the Spider, raced from the center of the spaceport towards his teammate from behind the Union-class dropship. Wolverine fired first with its AC-5, medium laser, and SRM-6 at the fuel tank, with all shots hitting the tank, weakening the structure. Hunchback fired with the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the fuel tank, with everything hitting the tank as it blew up into a high fireball. Not to be outdone, Griffin fired the PPC and LRM-10 at the power generator, with both the PPC and 8 missiles slamming into the generator, sending sparks upon impact. Warhammer fired both PPCs at the power generator, with the energy stream slamming onto the generator, greatly weakening its structure. The Phoenix Hawk returned fires with the large laser at the Warhammer, but misses. The AC-2 turret took aim and fired at the Griffin, which is the closest in range, but misses. The Spider and LRM-2 turret are out of range and did not fire this turn. At the end of turn 1, no mechs took damage. Objective Echo, the fuel depot was destroyed. The Blood Crows were allocated a total of 2 victory points versus the Iron Phalanx were at 0 victory points. Turn 2. Initiative Blood Crows. The Phoenix Hawk continued to race towards the Warhammer, trying to flank the Blood Crow's commander, taking cover behind the light storage tanks. Raven walked the Warhammer towards the generator. Scanning the spaceports, she did not detect any more powered mechs or turrets. Something seems off, Raven said to herself, as the Blood Crows expected heavier resistance. The spaceport is too lightly defended. Either it is a lucky day for the Blood Crows or the Merrics are up to something. And in the Inner Sphere universe, getting this lucky can be seen a miracle. Hammer walked the Griffin to defend the Warhammer's flank against the Phoenix Hawk. Bullet ran the Wolverine away from the burning fuel tanks towards the power generator and keeping the Phoenix Hawk in his sight. The Spider ran towards the power generator to distract the enemies. Cold Iron pushed the Hunchback towards the power generator. The Phoenix Hawk fires all its lasers at the Blood Crow's commander and scored the first hit on the Warhammer with the medium laser scratching the center torso armor. The Spider holds fire as it couldn't get a good firing solution to any target. The AC-2 turret fired at the Wolverine, but misses again. The LRM turret did not fire as it was out of range. Wolverine and Hunchback focused fire on the power generator. The Wolverine fired with the AC-5, medium laser, and SRM-6. The Hunchback fired with both medium lasers. The combined firepower obliterated the power generator, sending sparks flying and the humming sound of the turrets going quiet and offline. Warhammer returns fire at the Phoenix Hawk with both PPCs at short range while building up excess heat. Both PPCs melts into the Phoenix Hawk's right arm, stripping all armor and also hitting the center torso. Shaken by the impact, the Phoenix Hawk pilots struggled, but managed to keep the mech upright. Griffin fires the PPC at the Phoenix Hawk at short range too, but misses. At the end of turn 2, objectives Delta and Echo were destroyed. With the power generator destroyed, both defensive turrets went offline. The Warhammer and Phoenix Hawk were the only 2 mechs that took damages. The Blood Crows were allocated a total of 4 victory points versus the Iron Phalanx at 0 victory points. Turn 3, Initiative, Op 4. From the horizon, a dropship appeared with an approach path toward the spaceport. Sensors on Raven's screen blared as it picked up the dropship, marking it as hostile. "Crows, we have incoming!" shouted Raven to her lance. This marked Raven's earlier suspicions that the mission was deliberately left lightly guarded. As the dropship approaches, the marking of the Merrick became visible. A cloud of dust enveloped the landing pad, and the bay doors opened, revealing its cargo. Iron Phalanx reinforcements. Bay 1, Commander. Atlas, Assault Mech. Bay 2, Rifleman, Heavy Mech. Bay 3, Orion, Heavy Mech. Bay 4, Archer, Heavy Mech. Mercenary Unit, this is the Merrick Security Detachment Lance. Your commander head is on our bounty. Power down now. This is not a request, the Atlas Mech commander announced over open channel. Our employer has set us up. We are walking right into a trap, said Raven. Unable to retreat to where the Blood Crows have landed, the Blood Crows can only withdraw by retreating from the opposite edge of the spaceport. The extraction route cuts right into the path of the reinforcement lance. The Hunchback walked towards the Spider, using the Union dropship as a wall from the security lance ready to deal with the Spider. Rattled by the earlier impacts, the Phoenix Hawk abandoned its position and retreated back to seek cover from the offline turret. The Atlas stomped towards the destroyed power generator as it makes its way around the huge Union dropship towards the Spider. Wolverine seized the chance and positioned at the Phoenix Hawk's exposed rear. The Archer followed behind the Atlas. Warhammer walked behind the Wolverine, keeping the Phoenix Hawk in its sight. The Orion also moved towards the destroyed power generator. Griffin also walked to the rear of the Phoenix Hawk. The Spider raced and pivoted onto the Hunchback's rear. The Rifleman also formed up with the remaining reinforcement, advancing towards the blood crows. Wolverine fires the medium laser and SRM-6 into the Phoenix Hawk rear, but misses. Wolverine lashed out a kick but misses too, with Bullet managed to hold the mech steady to avoid a fall from the missed kick. Hunchback fires both medium laser at medium range at the Phoenix Hawk but misses too. Griffin takes aim and fires the PPC at the Phoenix Hawk's rear, hitting the right arm, destroying the arm, and damaging the right torso. The Phoenix Hawk lost its primary weapon, the large laser, one medium laser, and one machine gun. Warhammer fires a single PPC at the Spider, hitting the left torso into the internals, but nothing breaks, switches target, and fires two medium lasers at the Phoenix Hawk. Only one medium laser found the target, hitting the left torso. Before the arm got blown off, the Phoenix Hawk fires everything at the Warhammer. The large laser and medium lasers hit the right arm, center torso, and right leg. Both the machine guns misses. Spider fires at the Hunchback rear with both medium lasers but misses. The Spider kicks the Hunchback, hitting the right leg. The reinforcements did not fire this turn. At the end of turn 3, the Warhammer, Hunchback, Phoenix Hawk, and Spider took damages. Turn 4, Initiative, Blood Crows. Archer skirted the Union dropship, stopping with the Blood Crows in partial sight. The Atlas overtook the Archer to face the Blood Crows. Hunchback moved towards the dropship for cover and protecting its rear. Orion ran to keep formation with the rest of the lance. Facing the Hunchback, the Spider changed its focus and ran to the Warhammer rear. Wolverine peeled off and moved forward to face the oncoming lance, attempting to keep the heat off the Warhammer. The Rifleman moved behind the Orion, taking partial cover from the crates. Griffin walked behind the Phoenix Hawk, attempting to block its movement. The Phoenix Hawk ignites its jump jets and jumped behind the Griffin, with the mech dangerously overheating. Warhammer positioned to the rear of the Phoenix Hawk. With the Spider marking the Warhammer for the Archer targeting solution, the Archer fires both LRM-20 but misses. Atlas fires the LRM-20 at short range, the AC-20, one medium laser, and one SRM-6 at the Wolverine at long range. Only 6 missiles hit the center torso. Orion fires the AC-10 and LRM-15 at the Wolverine at medium range. 9 missiles hit the right arm, right torso, center torso, left torso, and left leg. "Don't you dare die on me, Bullet," screamed Hammer as she sees the Wolverine soaking up damages like a shield for the Blood Crows. Rifleman fires one large laser and both AC-5 at the Warhammer at long range. With luck on its side, a single AC-5 round slammed into the Warhammer's left torso armor. Phoenix Hawk fires at the Griffin's rear with what's left of its weapons, a medium laser and machine gun, but misses. Wolverine fires the AC-5 at the Orion and misses. Griffin fires the PPC and LRM at the Spider. The PPC and 6 missiles hits the Spider, damaging the head, right arm, left torso into the internals by a single missile, right torso into the internals by the PPC, and left leg. However, nothing critical breaks. The pilot took a wound from the headshot but managed to stay in his seat. The pilot also managed to hold the mech steady, but the mech is now crippled and in forced withdrawal mode. Warhammer fires a PPC at the Spider, hitting the right torso, destroying the torso and damaging the center torso, switches target and fires 2 medium lasers at the Phoenix Hawk rear, with both shots hitting the rear center torso and rear left torso into the internals. Again, nothing critical breaks. Raven gave the Phoenix Hawk a kick into the left leg, but the mech remains upright from the impacts. Hunchback holds fire. At the end of turn 4, the Warhammer, Wolverine, Phoenix Hawk, and Spider took damages. The pilot for the Spider took a wound, and the mech is crippled and in withdrawal mode. Blood Crows gained an additional victory point for crippling the enemy mech. Turn 5, Initiative, Op 4. Hunchback holds still in an attempt to flank the advancing security lance, while providing fire support for the remaining Blood Crows. The Orion run towards the Wolverine. Their orders: shoot to kill, and leaves no one alive. The rifleman steadied its mech by taking up firing position, readying its aim with its long-range weapons. Knowing that the enemy forces are targeting her, Raven retreated the Warhammer backwards into the empty storage tanks for cover. The Phoenix Hawk repositioned to the rear of the Warhammer. Hammer shifted the Griffin between the debris of the power generator and the offline turret. The Atlas advanced forward with imposing strides, staring down at the Wolverine. Like the rifleman, the Archer holds position, readying its next salvo of missiles. Unable to face the Atlas straight on, Wolverine jumped to the turret in an attempt to break away from the Atlas and Orion. The Spider, in forced withdrawal, managed to evacuate from the edge. Warhammer torso twisted to face the Phoenix Hawk and fired a fury of weapons, leashing 2 medium lasers, 2 small lasers, SRM-6, and both machine guns into the mech. A single medium and small lasers, 4 missiles, and both machine guns hit the Phoenix Hawk, damaging the center torso, right leg, right torso, left leg, into internals, breaking the leg upper actuator. The pilot initially managed to steady the mech from the impacts, but as the leg actuator gave way, the pilot lost control and the mech fell onto its right, further damaging the right torso. The pilot, however, managed to stay buckled to his seat, preventing further injuries. Hunchback fires the AC-20 and both medium lasers at medium range at the Atlas. The AC-20 slug slammed into the Atlas' right torso, while the lasers went wide. The enormous Atlas shook a little from the impact, and the pilot regained control with ease. Griffin fired the PPC and LRM-15 at the Archer, with both the PPC and 8 missiles hitting the center torso, right arm, right leg, right torso, and left leg. Wolverine fires the AC-5 at the Phoenix Hawk mid-flight and misses. The Merrick Force focus fire at the Blood Crows command unit, the Warhammer. Orion fires at Warhammer with the AC-10 and LRM-15, but misses. Rifleman holds fires as its weapons are not in range. Phoenix Hawk fires with its remaining weapons a medium laser and machine gun at Warhammer's rear, with both shots hitting the left arm and right torso. Atlas fires at Warhammer with its LRM-20 but misses. Archer fires both LRM-20 at Warhammer at long range and misses. So far, Raven's Warhammer managed to avoid being hit by most of the shots, but with the security lance closing in, things are about to get worse for her and the Blood Crows. The leash is tightening around the crows' necks. At the end of turn 5, the Warhammer, Phoenix Hawk, Atlas, and Archer took damages. The Spider withdrew from battle. Turn 6. Initiative. Blood Crows. The Atlas continued its advance, with the objective of closing into the Warhammer within melee range. With the damaged leg actuator, the Phoenix Hawk limped backwards, with its back against the empty fuel tank, facing the Warhammer. Raven retreated the Warhammer further towards the edge of the map, creating distance in an attempt to draw the security lance towards her, while setting up opportunities to take them down by her other units. The Orion pushes alongside the Atlas. The Hunchback advanced southwards to flank the Atlas, while taking partial cover behind the collapsed power generator. The Archer turned and ran southwards next to the Rifleman to open up its firing lines. The Griffin moved and took cover behind the turret from the Atlas and Orion. The Rifleman broke cover to move behind the security lance vanguards, opening up its firing lanes, targeting the Warhammer. In an attempt to distract the Atlas from the Warhammer, Bullet moved the Wolverine to the Atlas left flank. The Atlas fires the LRM-20 at the Warhammer at medium range but misses. Undeterred, the Atlas switches target and fires the AC-20, one medium laser and one SRM-6 at the Wolverine at short range. The AC-20 cored into the Wolverine's armored center torso into the internals, damaging the fusion engine, while one missile flying towards the right leg slammed into the cover. Another 2 missiles hits the right torso. Staggered, Bullet managed to steady the mech from the impact. Phoenix Hawk fires the medium laser and machine gun at the Warhammer, both shots hitting the Warhammer's right arm. Orion fires the LRM-15 at medium range and AC-10 at long range at the Warhammer, and switches target and fired the SRM-4 at the Wolverine. The AC-10 shot misses, but 9 missiles found the target, damaging the Warhammer right arm, stripping the remaining armor, as well as damaging the right torso, center torso, left torso, and left arm. The SRM missiles misses the Wolverine. Rifleman fires both AC-5 at the Warhammer at long range and switches target and fired both medium lasers at the Wolverine at medium range. The AC-5 misses the Warhammer, while a single medium laser hits the Wolverine center torso internal structure, but nothing breaks. The Wolverine center torso internal structure is at risk of breaching into the fusion core. With the Warhammer beyond range, the Archer fired both LRMs-20 at the Wolverine at medium range. Luckily for Bullet and the Wolverine, the rain of missiles misses the mech completely. Raven Warhammer fires a single PPC at the Orion, but misses and then switches target to fire 2 medium lasers, 2 small lasers, 1 SRM-6, and both machine guns at the Phoenix Hawk. A single medium laser, 1 small laser, 1 machine gun, and 4 missiles struck the Phoenix Hawk, damaging the left arm, left leg into the internals again, left torso, and right torso also into the internals. A lone missile struck the Phoenix Hawk's cockpit, causing the pilot to fall from the seat and falling unconscious. Wolverine fires the AC-5, medium laser, and SRM-6 at short range at the Atlas left flank. Only the medium laser connects, damaging the Atlas' heavily armored right arm. Hunchback fired the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the Atlas at medium range but misses. Griffin also fired the PPC and LRM-10 at the Atlas at short range. The PPC misses and only 3 missiles struck the Atlas on the left torso, right arm, and right leg, denting the thick armored mech. At the end of turn 6, the Warhammer, Wolverine, Phoenix Hawk, and Atlas took damages. The Phoenix Hawk's pilot took a wound and was unconscious. Turn 7, Initiative. Op 4. Still being hunted, Raven shifted the Warhammer behind cover. The Atlas continued to charge forward towards the Warhammer. The Orion switches target and moves towards the badly damaged Wolverine. Griffin holds position behind cover to support the Wolverine and Warhammer. The Archer also holds position, seeking a better lock for its missiles. The Wolverine jumps behind the destroyed power generator for cover, seeking safety in numbers. The Rifleman advances behind the Orion. The Hunchback ran towards the Archer, attempting to keep it at bay from the Warhammer. The Phoenix Hawk, with power still running, stayed still as the pilot remained unconscious. Hunchback fires the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the Archer. Every shot made it to the Archer, with the AC-20 damaging the right arm, medium lasers to the left torso, and another medium laser to the head, causing the mech to fall and knocking the pilot unconscious. The Archer fell on its right, further damaging its right arm into the internals, but nothing breaks. Wolverine fires the AC-5, medium laser, and SRM at the Atlas. The AC-5 hits the left leg, and the medium laser hits the center torso. Griffin 2 fires the PPC and LRM-10 at the Atlas. Only 6 missiles hitting the left arm and left torso. Warhammer fires 1 PPC at the Atlas, hitting the left arm. The Atlas took a few steps backwards from the focused fire and steadied itself. The Warhammer then switches target and fires 1 SRM-6, 2 small lasers, and 2 machine guns at the Phoenix Hawk, hitting the right torso, internal, right leg, left arm, center torso. With the pilot unconscious, the mech fell and damaged the right torso, destroying the torso. The mech is now crippled and into forced withdrawal mode. Atlas fires the LRM-20, the AC-20, 1 medium laser, and 1 SRM-6 at the Warhammer, but everything misses. Orion fires the AC-10 and 1 medium laser at the Wolverine. The autocannon hits the center torso internal structure, blowing up the mech. "Bullet!" Hammer shouted and cried into the comms as the AC-10 blasted through the Wolverine center torso right in front of her. The Archer fires 1 LRM-20 at Wolverine and switches target by firing 1 medium laser at the advancing Hunchback, but misses before being hit by the Hunchback, causing the Archer mech to fall and knocking the pilot, becoming unconscious. Rifleman fires both AC-5 at the Warhammer. With luck, one of the autocannon rounds managed to hit the Warhammer, damaging the left torso. The Phoenix Hawk remained stationary due to its unconscious pilot. "The Merrick will pay for this," Raven said as she ordered the Blood Crows to rain blood on the enemies. At the end of turn 7, the Warhammer, Wolverine, Phoenix Hawk, Atlas, and Archer took damages. The Wolverine was destroyed, killing the pilot. The Archer pilot took a wound and was unconscious. The Phoenix Hawk pilot remained unconscious and was in forced withdrawal mode. The Iron Phalanx earned 1 victory point for destroying the Wolverine. Turn 8, Initiative, Blood Crows. The Archer pilot managed to regain consciousness and retreated, trying to place its rear against the Union dropship away from the Hunchback. The Rifleman turned to face the Hunchback. The Hunchback ran to the Archer, weakened left flank, determined to bring the mech down this turn. Raven shifted the Warhammer, preparing to take on the approaching Atlas. The Orion holds position. The Atlas continued its march towards the Warhammer, while the Phoenix Hawk pilot failed to regain consciousness and remained in its fallen state. Filled with anger arising from Bullet's death and the burning Wolverine wreckage, Hammer shifted the Griffin to face the Atlas. The Rifleman fired 1 large laser and 2 AC-5 at the Hunchback right. The large laser hits the right arm, while the AC-5 hits the right leg and right torso. The Phoenix Hawk did not take any firing actions, while the Orion fires the AC-10 and LRM-15 at the Warhammer with 15 missiles hitting the right, left, and center torso. The Orion then switches to target the Griffin with 1 SRM-4. 2 missiles hit the Griffin on the right and left torso. The Archer fires both medium lasers at the Hunchback, damaging the left arm and center torso. The Hunchback kept its balance from the beatings. The Atlas fires the AC-20, both medium lasers and SRM-6 at the Warhammer, with the AC-20 hitting the center torso, stripping all armor into the internals, but nothing breaks. The remaining shots went for the Warhammer left arm, as well as the right leg, but ended up hitting the storage tanks instead. Badly rattled, Raven managed to steady the Warhammer. The Hunchback return fires the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the Archer again. Everything hits, damaging the left leg, center torso, and right arm into the internals, but nothing breaks. The Archer holds steady. The Griffin fired the PPC and LRM-10 at the Atlas, pushing past safe heat limits but misses. The Warhammer fires both PPC at the Atlas, similarly pushing the mech heat limits. Both energy streams hit the Atlas on the center and left torso, barely rattling the mech as the pilot kept the mech steady. At the end of turn 8, the Warhammer, Atlas, and Archer took damages. The Phoenix Hawk pilot remained unconscious. Turn 9, Initiative, Blood Crows. The Phoenix Hawk pilot finally regained consciousness and attempts to recover the mech, succeeded, and withdrew from the battlefield. The Atlas finally closed in on the Warhammer. Warhammer skirted around the storage tanks to avoid melee range with the Atlas. Being harassed by the Hunchback, the Archer retreated further, protecting its left. Griffin stayed still, providing fire support to the Warhammer. The Orion ran towards the turret to flank the Warhammer from both sides. The Rifleman turned the mech to focus fire at the Warhammer. The Hunchback continued to keep the Archer in its close range, keeping it away from targeting the remaining crows, especially the Warhammer. Atlas fires the AC-20, both medium lasers and SRM-6 at the Warhammer. Everything hits the Warhammer along with 4 missiles. In spectacular fashion, the AC-20 round tore through the Warhammer head, destroying the cockpit in an instant. "Commander!" Hammer shouted into the comms as she witnessed the Warhammer cockpit vaporized by the AC-20 round. The remaining shots damaged the Warhammer left leg, right torso, left arm, and left torso into the internals, but nothing breaks. Raven has fallen, and so will the remaining crows as they tried to put up a last stand against the iron phalanx. Orion fires at the Warhammer with the AC-10, LRM-15, both medium lasers, and SRM-4, sacrificing heat levels. The AC-10, one medium laser and 9 missiles hit the Warhammer. Together with the Atlas AC-20 round, 6 LRM missiles slammed into the cockpit while the AC-10, one medium laser and remaining 3 missiles hits the right leg, left arm, right and center torso into the internals, but nothing breaks, and right arm internals breaking the upper arm actuator. At the same time, the rifleman fires both large lasers and both AC-5 at the Warhammer. A single large lasers again, and AC-5 hits the Warhammer on the right leg and right torsos, both into the internals, but nothing breaks. With the Warhammer out of sight, the Archer fires both medium lasers at the Hunchback. One laser hits the center torso. Hunchback fires the AC-20 and both medium lasers again at the Archer. Only a medium laser hits the left leg. Griffin fires a PPC at the Atlas but misses. Prior to its destruction, the Warhammer Alpha strikes the Atlas with both medium lasers, SRM-6, both small lasers, and both machine guns. Both medium lasers hits the center and left torso, while a small laser and one machine gun damage the Atlas left torso and left arm. 3 missiles also damage the right arm and right torso, but the assault mech holds steady despite the onslaught. At the end of turn 9, the Warhammer, Hunchback, Atlas, and Archer took damages. The Blood Crows lost their commander, while the Phoenix Hawk managed to withdraw. As a result, the Iron Phalanx earned an additional 4 victory points, bringing its total to 5 victory points. Turn 10, initiative, up for facing overwhelming forces. Hammer jumped the Griffin back to the Union dropship as she tried to compose herself. Eyes red, filled with anger and sadness. Seeing that the command unit has been eliminated, the Archer decided to take the safer approach by continuing to retreat backwards from the Hunchback. Satisfied with the sight of the Warhammer without its cockpit, the Atlas turned its focus on the Griffin. Getting the signal, the Orion too rotated to face the Griffin. Knowing that all is lost, Hunchback continued to close in on the Archer, trying to seek revenge by bringing one of the units down. The rifleman, too, moved backwards to keep the Griffin in sight. Hunchback fires the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the Archer. The AC-20 slammed into the left torso into the internals, blowing up the remaining LRM ammo, while one medium laser hit the left arm. Miraculously, the Archer remains standing and refuses to die. The Griffin fires the LRM-10 at the Atlas but misses. The Archer returns fire with both medium lasers at the Hunchback but misses. The Atlas fires the LRM-20 at the Griffin and misses too. Similarly, the Orion fires at the Griffin with the AC-10 and misses. Luck is on the Griffin side as the rifleman fires both AC-5 at the Griffin, but misses. At the end of turn 10, only the Archer took damages. Turn 10, initiative, up for Griffin jumped the mech again to be within range of the Hunchback. The Orion chased the Griffin while the rifleman rotated to meet the Griffin. The Atlas continued to chase the Griffin. Hunchback moved closer to the Archer, and placing its back to the dropship. The archer continued to retreat backwards. Griffin fires the PPC and LRM-10 at the Atlas but misses. Hunchback fires the AC-20 and both medium lasers at the archer, with only one medium laser hitting the right leg. Orion fires the AC-10 LRM-15, both medium lasers and SRM-4 at the Griffin while the Griffin was in the midst of the jump and misses. Likewise, the rifleman fires both large lasers, both AC-5 and both medium lasers at the jumping Griffin. Everything misses. The Atlas fires the LRM-20 at the Griffin. With pinpoint precision and a confirmed missile lock, a full salvo of 20 missiles slammed into the Griffin, hitting the right torso, and left leg. The Griffin shook violently from the impacts, but Hammer managed to land the jumping mech safely. Archer fires both LRM-20 at the Griffin rear, but misses and switches target by firing both medium lasers at the Hunchback and misses too. Griffin jumped the mech again to be within range of the Hunchback. A quick overview of the breakdown of victory points awarded to the forces by the end of turn 11, with the Iron Phalanx gaining additional points for defending the remaining structures. The outcome was a total defeat for the Blood Crows. The rain has stopped and the skies opened up with two dropships approaching, bearing the mark of the Merricks as the dropships approaches the spaceport. With Raven and Bullet killed along with their mechs, only Cold Iron and Hammer were the left standing. Totally surrounded and outnumbered, Hammer in the Griffin tried to make a final face-off, but was stopped by Cold Iron as he powered down the Hunchback. "It's over," Cold Iron said to Hammer, but before he finished his sentence, a fierce fireball erupted from the Griffin as Hammer had deliberately overloaded the fusion engine, causing the reactor to explode. With the Blood Crows disbanded, Cold Iron was captured and imprisoned by the Marique for hostile acts against the Great House. His fate remained unknown till date. The Blood Crows have spilled its blood onto the battlefield today, with the Marique scoring a decisive victory through treachery and carefully plotting its revenge. For Raven and the Blood Crows, the unit has gained an infamous reputation for going against a great house. The stories of the Blood Crows will continue to be heard among the mech warriors. This brings an end to the Blood Crows campaign. Thank you for the past support. A new campaign is being planned, and I hope you will continue to give your support to this channel. If you have yet to do so, do give a like or subscribe.